Hello, everyone. This is Steve Riss, the host of Sports Talk with RKJ. And today, I'm here with Justin D'Onofrio for our second Uconn men's basketball report. I mean, Uconn had a good week this week. I would say they had a good week this week. I mean, they got their first conference win over Tulane, 67-61. And then they lost to Wichita State, 89-86 in double overtime. But they really battled hard. It was a really good game. Christian Vitale had a huge game at 25 points. They really battled hard, but missed free throws at the end. Ended up being their demise in that game, and they ended up losing to Wichita. In a game, looking at their schedule, they could have that was a game they needed to steal, because looking at, they got to go to Houston and Villanova now. But you had to like the effort against Wichita State, and you had to like what you saw this week, even though they went 1-1 like both of us predicted. I mean, you had to like the effort of what you saw this week.
You do. And Wednesday night, I'll start there. You know, we talked about it last Wednesday. Tulane was going to be that gritty, tough team that wasn't going to go away, and they didn't. It seemed like they were about to pull away. They went up by 8 or 9 a couple times, and then Tulane hit a shot or two. They never lost the lead, but as you talked about, Tulane would be that tough, gritty team. They did a great job on the boards. They had 44 rebounds. Tulane only 26. It's 17 offensive. But the one man that stood out was Tyler Polley, and it's too bad he tore his ACL, because it finally looked like he got it. You know, it's, and I think Hurley gave him the ultimatum of hey, if you don't start playing better, you don't start producing a bit more, James Bouknight is going to be in your spot very soon. So I have never seen Tyler Polley look like that before. I've never seen much emotion from Tyler Polley, but we saw it Wednesday night, and it's too bad because he attacked, he got to the line, he did everything. You know, he was great Wednesday night. It's a tough loss for him. It's too bad because it finally looked like he showed us something that we've been waiting for 3 years as Uconn fans, instead of him standing at the 3-point line. And, you know, that's really been about it for him offensively. And Sunday, yeah, Christian Vitale let it all out on the floor. He played well. I also like the minutes that Sid Wilson gave the Huskies. I know Hurley said in the post-game show that his practice this week where he's like dependent on it. So he played well, and I was surprised. He hit a couple of big threes, especially forcing the game to OT. I was shocked. He kind of gave them some much needed bench scoring right there in that one. And I think, and Carlton actually had 13 of 12, which I was very surprised on. And he went to the free throw line 13 times. He still only made 7 of them. But I mean, yes, he's playing better, but that's a problem, missing those free throws. That cost them the game. They make free throws, they beat Wichita State. Yeah, they went to the line 40. They were 29 for 42. The Shockers were 19 for 24. So what is that? 79% to 69%.
That can't happen. That was the difference in that game. They make their free throws, they would have won that game.
And that seems like it's been a problem the last couple of years, pretty much at that 2014 run where Brian, the guy that you never thought would hit the 2 free throws with Brimo, but he did. And it seems like it's been the problem. Missed free throws that cost some games. Cook was not very good. He was over on the field. He didn't play great. He didn't even have a block shot either Sunday. So, they played well, and I think it was Hurley or Gilbert or Vitale, one of those 3 that said, there's no moral victories at Uconn, and there shouldn't. But again, this is a game where they were competitive, and I guess I thought they would be competitive. I didn't think they'd take Wichita double OT, because I think this is the best team in the conference right now. It's something to build off of. But again, you wish you got this game, because you're sitting 2-2 going to Nova and Houston. And
now you're one. I mean, obviously Nova's on a conference game, but now you're 1-3 going into both those games.
Yeah, it's tough. And again, you would hope to get a split, and I don't think it's gonna happen. You would love to get a split at either or. That's a big asking, because again, there's still a year or two away, especially on Polley. I like Bouknight, but again, he's still a freshman, and he's not a one and done guy here. I think in a year or two, I think he'll definitely be a lottery pick, but he ain't right now. He's not a one and done guy that's going to come in here and be your scorer right now. He can be. He scored 16. He played pretty well Sunday, but you miss kind of that leadership of what Polley gave you.
Exactly, and you look at Polley's injury. That is a big injury. I mean, he's a junior. He's not gonna get this year back. He's not going to be able to redshirt, so he's not going to be able to get the year back. That's a huge injury. And I think Bouknight, he didn't play that well in the first half on Sunday, but in the second half he played really well. And he's really, really starting to step up. He's going to be a starter now with Tyler Polley out. And one guy that's got to really step up, who had a really rough 2 games, was a Cook. A Cook has got to start scoring. He's got to start just giving us something. Give us like 9 or 10 points. Don't be giving us 2 points. He's got to start becoming more of a scorer. Yes, he's a good shot blocker. We saw that at times in that Indiana game at the Garden, but he's got to become more of a scorer, a Cook.
He does.
For this team to improve. He
does. Conference player right now, he's only averaging about 6 points a game. As a starter, and he's a top 50 recruit, and I think at times, right when he signed, he was like top 30. So they really do need him to step up and be a scorer, because they don't have many. They have Gilbert and they have Vital, but we got to remember too, Gilbert's probably grad transferring. Vital's a senior. You got Bouknight coming back. RJ Cole's going to be a huge scorer, but they're going to be looking for that another piece next year. So they really do need him to step up, for future, for this year and future years. Because hopefully, I would love to see this team get to at least an IIT. But again, that's going to be tough. And then with Polley injury, because I think he definitely won't be able to. Because I think it's about 20% of your games you qualify if you play 20% of your games. And he says the maximum amount you could qualify for medical redshirt. So of course he will not get that. It's just, it stinks now that it finally looked like he showed what he could have been the last 3 years. And again, these injuries are always tough, so you hope maybe just in November, December you can come back hopefully next year, because as another senior, and especially if we can get what he showed Wednesday night against Tulane, I'd love to have him back in the starting lineup. So hopefully he can come back as quickly as possible for next season and get ready for, hopefully, he'll get to play 1 year in the Big East, hopefully, and he'll give us somewhat of what we saw last week.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about last week, obviously, you had the win over Tulane and the loss to Wichita State. And here's the one thing. I do not want to hear about the officiating. I absolutely do not want to hear about the officiating. That's not what the show is going to be about. The reason they lost the game is because they missed free throws. I don't want to hear fans that are listening right now to talk about the officiating. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all.
Yeah, and, because look, UConn still went the line 42 times. Wichita only went 24. Were the fouls? Wichita had 28 fouls, UConn 25. It was about even. Again, you go 33 for 42 from the line and you win the game. Done deal. I don't know why we can't do that. It's a done deal. You hit 4 more free throws. So, you can't complain about the officiating. It is what it is. And again, we're all human. This is what I would say about officiating. We're all human. We all miss something. It's the human element of the sport. Unless you want robots in every sport, then stuff's going to be wrong. It's always going to be wrong. There's, no question. And sometimes it goes your way. I'll just say sometimes it goes the other way if you want to say about officiating. But, you hit free throws, you win the game. Nothing else to it.
Absolutely. And so we'll look at now some of the guys on the bench. Now that Bouknight's starter, Brendan Adams, Sidney Wilson, Isaiah Whaley, and Tyler Gaffney. Really, outside of Sidney Wilson this week, really didn't have anybody really step up off the bench. Sidney Wilson gave a huge spark. And I knew when they were down 3 and he had the ball in his hands, I had a feeling he was going to hit that 3 to tie the game.
Yeah,
You didn't think so?
I was scared.
You didn't think so? I thought he was hitting that 3.
Really? I was scared. I was like, oh boy, this is again, I know that was the second 3 hit of the game, but I was actually like, this is not our best 3-point weapon here, but hey, it went in. Because I remember last year, I don't know if you remember this, when Hurley said, who has the most NBA talent on this roster, and he said Sid Wilson. He's got so much athleticism. And the thing is, too, it seems like Sid Wilson in high school, because his jump shot's starting to come a little bit now. But it seems like a guy in high school, he worked more on his dunks than his jump shot. I don't know if that personally, if he actually did that, but that's what it seems like. And going back to the rest of the bench guys, Gaffney and Whaley were the only both scored 2 points. Your bench scored 16, but 12 of them came from Wilson. Adams, who started off the season great, was 0 for 4 again. He struggled. Whaley had 2 points. He struggled. Didn't get a rebound. Usually he's good for a rebound or 2 coming off the bench. Gaffney, 2 points, 1 assist. Had a couple of turnovers once again, but again, freshman, they do need somebody to step up from that bench. Hopefully Wilson can continue to be that guy, because now they're down to a 9-man rotation. Whaley, he only played 4 minutes on Wednesday, and I thought he could be a factor in with the way Tulane played, and he wasn't. they really do need a bench guy to step up for these guys because it's kind of hard to ask you all 5 starters to be your whole scoring, especially like as we see too, like Cook at times gets in foul trouble. Of course, Jack Carlton gets in foul trouble. Boatnight got in foul trouble. Like, every night too, you're gonna have guys in foul trouble. You're gonna need guys to step up that night. Sid did that Sunday, but you're gonna need 7, 8 guys. You're gonna need everybody to beat Nova. You're gonna need all 9 guys ready to go to beat Nova.
So we look ahead at the Villanova game right now. Nova, who beat DePaul last night in overtime, number 14 in the country. But as you've seen in college basketball this year, even though are they going to be playing at the the Wells Fargo Center,
Wells
right?
Fargo, yep.
Yeah. So if you've seen in college basketball this year, there's nothing that's really impossible. Anybody could beat anybody on any given day. But obviously, this is again a really tough matchup, a future. New rivalry. That rivalry is gonna be back as UConn will join the Big East next year. But this is a rivalry game, and to me, yes, it's winnable. But it's Jay Wright, it's Villanova, and it's obviously going to be a really, really tough game. And we saw this game 2 years ago. Obviously, you can't compare that because that's when Nova had all those guys, DiVincenzo. Who else? DiVincenzo.
Who else? Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that team was loaded. That was the team that beat Michigan in the national championship game. So you can't really compare. But that was at UConn. Now they're hosting Villanova. Villanova's the home team. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game between these two teams. And I think that obviously I think it's going to be a tough game. UConn's going to compete, but I think Villanova's going to win.
Yeah, I got Nova too. The thing is, when I was watching last night, DePaul put a press on them. They do not inbound the ball very well. So Hurley, please press. I think that's the only shot you have. Press them. They don't not like the ball pressure. They don't like it. DePaul was down 11. It was with 2 minutes left. 12-1 run in the final 2 minutes of that ball game for DePaul to tie it to force OT. And I think they had 4 turnovers, I believe, in the final 2 minutes right there. Pressure the ball, UConn. They only forced 5 last week against Tulane. They got to put some ball pressure. And the other thing about Nova is, too, they love to chuck. They just love to chuck threes. They've shot, I think, they've already attempted 446 three-point attempts. Their opponents have only shot 304. They shoot at 34.5%, so they're not a bad three-point shooting team. The other thing is, too, they don't have a bench at all. They only had 3 points off their bench last night. And half their shots last night came from the three-point line. So they're going to chuck. So I think that could maybe help UConn. If you don't fall for shot fakes, if you don't, again, you do a good job closing out on these guys, you have a chance. If this game was at home, I'd feel a little bit better, a little bit more confident than I do on the road because as we saw 2 years ago when Nova came in there and absolutely rocked them and won by 30. Last year at the Garden, UConn kept it closer a half, and then Nova in the second half just absolutely. I think they shot lights out in that second half, and UConn had no answers for them. They kind of lied down. Colin Gillespie is their leading scorer at the moment for Nova. He's averaging 15 points a game. They got a big guy in Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who's just averaging just under a double-double. I think it's 10 points and 9 rebounds a game. Shaquem Bay, a sophomore, he's averaging 15 points and 5 rebounds. They're a good team, and they've been good. Jay Wright always has his team really, really good basketball team. They've taken advantage of the new Big East because it always seems like they were at the top of the peak in the old Big East, but now they've kind of been the favorite teams like every single year in this new Big East. It's going to be tough going on the road to beat these guys again. I feel a little bit more confident than I did last Saturday though, or last Sunday after that Wichita game. I feel a little bit more confident. It's going to be tough, but I think it's possibly a winnable game. It's winnable, but the chance, it's slim. Yeah, you're gonna have to play perfect basketball to win this game.
So I think it's safe to say that when we're sitting here next Wednesday, UConn will be 10-7.
Yeah, and you're right though. College basketball has been a weird year though, so who knows?
You never know. You saw Duke get upset last night.
Yep.
So you never know. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to wrap it up this week for our Uconn men's basketball report. We'll be back next week recapping the Villanova game and previewing the game at Houston and then the game at home against Tulsa. So I'll put this video up around noontime, and be sure at 11 o'clock to listen to my conference championship preview. So we hope you listen to all three of our shows today, and have a great day, everybody.